This is a big one. Do you want to start?
Yeah, okay.
Hey everybody, it's Chris from Six Wins, here with Matt, and we're here to review two matchups, and these are both big ones.
More Sweet 16 matchups.
Yeah, we are knee-deep in the Sweet 16 now. We are in the Never Ever Smoke Weed Southwest region, where Tom Hanks is the number one seed, and he faced off against Johnny Depp, who is a 5 seed.
Yeah.
Both have... or I should say at least Hanks has won with room to spare. So that's matchup number 1. And then matchup number 2 is Robert Downey Jr., 6 seed, versus Denzel mother effing Washington, number 2 seed. So I am very interested to see who moves on. But we wanted to play a couple of games. So I have a game in mind that Matt doesn't know, and Matt apparently has a game in mind that I don't know.
Yeah.
And here's what I want to ask Matt, but also anybody watching.
Yeah.
So we named 4 actors.
Yeah.
Hanks, Depp, Robert Downey Jr., Denzel Washington. Matt, here's what I want you to do, and here's what I want you to do at home. Feel free to leave the comment. Have you ever seen the movie The Hangover?
I've seen the first one, yeah.
Okay, cool. That's all you need.
Okay.
So you know the cast. There's Phil, played by
Bradley Cooper, cool guy.
Stu,
Ed Helms.
played by
This
Ed
is the
Helms.
T. Zach Galifianakis,
Alan,
my
and then
personal favorite.
Doug, who he's in it a little bit.
I would have
but
forgot his name.
He's kind of absent the whole movie.
Yeah, they're looking for him.
I want you to rebuild the main cast of The Hangover using these 4 actors.
Ooh, this is juicy. I don't know who I start with. All right. There are...
Start.
Was that what I sounded like?
I don't know. That's what I heard.
There are.
Oh, sorry.
There are 3 guys that can play really cool. Like, Johnny Depp can play really cool, too. But I think I can put him in a different role.
Okay.
Like, Denzel can play cool. Robert Downey Jr. can play cool. And I think Tom Hanks can play cool. That might be a controversial statement. I feel like he could be a Phil. But maybe it should just be between Robert Downey Jr. and Denzel.
Okay.
Okay, I know who's going to be my Doug. And this seems weird. I hate to do this. But I think if we know these actors and we're recasting it and with this kind of like tongue-in-cheek, I think Tom Hanks as Doug actually kind of makes sense.
Okay.
I think he'd still be able to pull off that like small role and actually probably do it better than the act. Nothing against the actor that played Doug, but Tom Hanks would probably add something. Or you just be like, this is so funny. It's like when South Park got George Clooney to voice a dog, and things like that. Like you have Tom Hanks as the guy who's not in the movie for 80% of it. Kind of funny. So I'm gonna put Tom Hanks as Doug. I'm gonna put Denzel as Phil.
Okay.
To be the coolest guy. I'm gonna have Johnny Depp be Alan. It wouldn't be the Zach Galifianakis kind of Alan. But I think I think that would be an interesting twist. Whatever Johnny Depp brought to that character, it would be very different than Zach Galifianakis is. I don't think it would be better. Okay. Zach Galifianakis is one of my personal favorite comedians and comedy actors. And then Robert Downey Jr. is Stu. And I say this because there is one movie at least, and I'm going to mention this maybe later, where Robert Downey Jr. Plays a bit less of a cool guy and is kind of a bit frazzled or a bit like kind of like paranoid and anxious. It's a movie called Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. And it's really funny. It's a really good movie too. And so I think seeing Robert Downey Jr. in that, I think he'd be able to pull off a pretty good Stu. So that's mine. Did you have one that you wanted to do, or do you want me to ask you my question?
That's pretty good. I can do mine quick because mine's not far off.
Okay.
I'm going to go... I'm also going to go Hanks for Doug. Because you do gotta have some chops. Because you remember he got super sunburned and had to like, I picture Hanks doing
From
that.
Castaway.
Yes, yeah. I think the only one you can't really have, I don't think you can have Denzel play Stu. because Stu's like the one that's always nervous. Maybe it would be funny like that. I think you
Yeah.
give that to Johnny Depp.
Okay. He could do
And
that
then,
one really well.
and then I think you agree. I agree. So I'm basically
Okay.
just flipping two. I'm gonna go Denzel plays Phil, and then Robert Downey Jr.
is Alan.
is Alan.
So you're flipping the
Depp and Alan. Depp and Downey Jr.
Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Johnny Dooner.
Yeah. So
Nice.
yeah.
All right.
Okay, so that was my little fun game. What do you got?
My question isn't as fun.
Okay.
But I want you to take these 4 actors, and I'm gonna have you pick 3 movies.
Okay.
And again, you can pick your 3 movies along at home and leave them in the comments. And maybe we'll shout you out and like copy and screenshot one of the comments we like in another video or something like that if we
Right.
see one that's like really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, we've got these 4 actors. I want you to pick your 3 favorite movies out of all of their movies where they have been like the lead role. So obviously, like if Johnny Depp was like a side character in like he usually isn't, but like Alice in Wonderland, he's kind of, it's an ensemble cast, like, and not that you'd pick it. So you could pick 3 Robert Downey Jr. movies, like your 3 favorite movies that any of these 4 actors have done.
Okay, but they have to be the lead.
They have to be, pretty much like the lead guy.
Okay. Because when you said, my first thought was like Tropic Thunder, but Robert Downey Jr. wouldn't be considered a lead, right? He'd be considered
That's a tough
support.
one. You can pick Tropic Thunder.
Okay, so I'm going Tropic Thunder. I'm going below. Johnny Depp below.
Oh, yeah. I think you said below, and I was like...
Below.
Below.
Zero.
Got it.
And then I'm going to go Castaway for the Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, I left out Denzel.
Denzel, yeah.
So those would be my 3. What about you?
My 3, I could honestly probably pick just 3 Johnny Depp movies because there was a time where I was such a huge Johnny Depp fan.
Okay.
But I am going to pick Kiss Kiss Bang Bang as one of my 3 favorites, actually.
Okay.
It's an older movie. I didn't see when it came out. And I think the reason I like it so much is there are those times when somebody wants to like watch a movie and you're like, I know you're a big fan, but like it's probably past its point. I don't want to go back and watch it.
Okay.
I just don't like, I'm sorry. I love you, but I don't want to watch this movie with you. And so I watched it and I enjoyed it so much more than I thought I would. And so I think I hold it in higher regards. I probably only saw it 6 or 7 years ago. Okay. So it's still really fresh. And so I would put Kiss Kiss Bang Bang as one of my 3 favorites. I think I'd have to agree with like Castaway. It's just a really good movie and a really good performance.
Holds up.
And then I'd probably pick like literally any Johnny Depp movie where he's a crazy character. But like Pirates of the Caribbean movies, they are blockbuster like fluff, but they're so fun. I lived in Japan for a few years. I don't think I've mentioned this yet. But I lived in Japan for about 3 years, and there were some other people there that were from the U.S. That lived close enough to me, and so like within the first couple weeks was like a new Pirates of the Caribbean movie, and they wanted to go see it. And so I went to like this movie theater in Japan to see Pirates of the Caribbean, and it was still kind of like getting settled. It was probably the first month I was there. But like I just remember it's one of the first times I'd seen a movie in a while in theaters, and just it was just so fun to watch. I was smiling for so much of it because it was just like all the crazy stuff that they came up with. I was like, this is just a fun movie. It just makes you happy. Johnny Depp's movies and his characters like just put a smile on your face. So I'll pick a Pirates of the Caribbean movie, any of them, but take the first one for sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
So
we left out Denzel. Denzel, we didn't pick a single Denzel.
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Do you have an honorable mention from Denzel? I'd probably go John Q.
I know you're a big John Q fan. One of my friends really loved Training Day, but it didn't do it for me. I know there's a movie that he's in, but I can't think of the title that I really liked. So I don't have a title off the top of my head.
Okay.
But yeah, Denzel does a bit more, like you said, kind of those cool guy movies, and also like crime, cop drama, criminal drama stuff. Yeah. And I don't watch those all that much. Okay. All right, so we figured out a lot of stuff about Hangover cast and about like your top 3 movies. Now it's time to see how people voted, though. See who's going on to our Elite 8. So our first matchup was Tom Hanks versus Johnny Depp. Could have been an interesting one. It's one of those where they're so different that it's hard to get an idea. It's not like two popular guys like Tom Cruise versus Brad Pitt, where they're very similar, and it's not like it's two really respected guys for like theatrical performances,
like a Bale Day-Lewis,
and things like that.
Yeah.
So Hanks and Depp, I wasn't sure how it was gonna go. How did it end up going?
So it was super close all day. I don't know about, it was super close. My pick would be Tom Hanks, and between Tom Hanks, Johnny Depp, Tom Hanks actually won.
Tom Hanks.
Welcome to the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
America's dad.
America's dad. All right, and then the other one, Denzel, the number 2 seed versus number 6 seed, Robert Downey Jr. I think... I wasn't sure how Robert Downey Jr. would do because his first matchup was against Sacha Baron Cohen. One of those weird combos where I wasn't sure how it would go, but he won relatively fairly. And then I was like, oh, he's very... people are into Iron Man and Robert Downey Jr. And then I also wasn't sure about his matchup with Matthew McConaughey because Matthew McConaughey beat Jim Carrey. And I wondered, maybe was McConaughey underseeded? Because he's really good and he's in a lot of things currently and very popular now. So I wasn't sure how that would go, but Robert Downey Jr. won that, so I thought maybe he has what it takes to beat Denzel too. So how did that one go?
So this one was not as close as Hanks Depp. Between these two, the voters decided that Denzel is the next one to move on to the Elite Eight.
Denzel, Tom Hanks.
So as of this time that we're shooting this video, we have 4 of our 8.
Yeah.
We have DiCaprio.
Yep.
We have Hanks.
Yep.
Denzel.
Yep.
Christian Bale.
Yep.
All seated pretty well. There's
Yeah.
nothing less than a
3
seed.
Bale's
Bale's
a
a 3.
Yeah.
So very interesting how that is playing out, but I'm very excited.
Yeah, we'll see how the other half of the bracket goes. I'm thinking we might see... I know we've at least already had 2 of our 2 seeds upset, so we might see something lower than a 3 move on. We might even see a 1 get knocked out.
Might.
I know you're worried about that.
Yeah, we got...
Nicholson, Robin Williams.
Robin Williams, and as of this shooting, we don't know yet.
And Joaquin is going to win and be our 7 seed in the Elite Eight. Joaquin!